Why were kings and governments so unhappy about church lighting? And what did they do to curb it? Stay with me, Laurent Chrzanovski, to find out more in this next episode of our series, Lighting Through the Ages. Well, the main problem raised when Christianism became the state religion, mainly in the Eastern Roman Empire, and mainly after 600. Why? People were ruining themselves to offer candles. That was a state monopoly accorded only to very few people, in fact, who were punished by death if the candles were not wax-made. And so they gave even their whole testaments for that. They gave even all their wealth for that. And at a certain moment, even the Byzantine state had to react, because it was such an expense, ruining so many families, that they had to fix it. And how did they do? Well, very simple. For each church, they established an inventory of the lighting devices. And they fixed which ones can be lighted in normal days, which ones in Sundays, which ones in particular holidays, and which ones in the main and most important for the Constantinopolitan Church day, which is Easter. So they limited this impoverishment of the society. On the other hand, much later, we had a second problem. The nobleman wanted to be surrounded by the most important numbers, outreaching numbers of lights. But these lights were candles or small lamps with fat. So, for instance, one of the most important examples is the funerals of Anne de Bretagne, who took place in one of the most important churches, cathedrals of France. They had to take down all the glasses and the painted glasses because it was really a risk that they would explode or melt, because it was so hot inside due to the number of candles that it was unbearable, it was unbreathable, and the temperature was calculated that it reached 80 degrees. So that was exactly what, at a certain moment, the rulers had to say stop. They had to say stop because also for their own management, people had no money for the taxes because they spent everything for their belief. So everything had to be concealed, and the final deal was that the church, for instance in France or in Western Europe, had the monopoly of the wax. And of course they made a lot of money because a wax candle must be new. So when it extinguished, they remelted it and they sold it again. But that was tolerated because at least it degrieved a little bit what was missing from the state. And of course, in the beekeeping areas, you could pay your taxes in wax, and then you were exempted to pay in money, in salt, or in other products you had. So state always had to manage, mainly in Christianity, the excesses of light due to belief and its own interest as state, as government, and as tax receiver. Next time, we will be looking at the connection between beekeeping and lighting. How the church met its huge need for candle wax. And why not subscribe now to watch all the episodes in this series? Hit the bell button to be notified when new videos become available.